I've listened to that song about 5 million times already, and I can already hear it playing in my head as it's going.
Yeah, and also I stipulated in my contract that I have to show my nipples at least once in every scene. This was my first day, and they go, right, now dance like no one's watching. I must say, Mr. Castaneda's got some serious moves. And during season 1, I think he was doing like hip-hop dance classes and stuff. Tom Hopper. He told me that this crab thing he does originated on a dance floor in Leicestershire.
I think I was gonna be in the scene because it was a tough day emotionally for Ben. But actually, the crazier story is that we hadn't received episode 10 script yet. I wanted to see some tears from Klaus in episode 10. But we got a moment from you. We got a moment from you in that car scene with Ellen.
I resent the fact Vanya swooped in there and got to send off. It's funny, like you kind of, as you're going away, you're like Swiss cheese.
Ruining my moment, okay?
I wasn't fully convinced about the message that Vanya relayed back to me about whether or not that was true, what you said in her ear. You know what I mean? Whether or not she was sort of she was padding the fall a bit for me. What you just leaned in all sweet and gone, tell Klaus I think he's an absolute. And the last 15 years have been a royal thorn in my heart. You just clench your butthole and close your eyes and think of Kansas.
You think he's joking, but he's not. This is actually how he works.
Wait!
I love your cowboy hat.
Yeah, little Dallas. I'm going to try and keep hold of that if we go back.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and hold on to that for dear life and make you dance. And then turn around, and there are these shadowy figures on the landing. Who are these twerps?
Thinking that Klaus was the only one who could see Ben again, so they sort of changed it, and so everyone just said
sheehan, and I'm playing this or that with Netflix UK and Ireland. Comedy, I suppose, in my life, things that deal with comedy and therefore deal with tragedy, because the two are completely and implicitly enmeshed. You can't have one without the other. Have struck me deeper. Films at the moment, yeah, films, but that tends to flip-flop around. Depends what's good, you know. TV shows sometimes are too long a commitment, you know. A show can be decent, but if you're asking me to sit down for 12 hours to watch it, it's like, you know, I've got other things I'd rather be doing. You know, I think globally speaking, morally speaking, we've improved as a species. I think going back is just, you know, you'd be faced with a load of mad barbarians. Do you know what I mean? And yes, I do mean the 90s. Truth is a bit more like you're being nosy. You know, dare is there's something actually going to happen. Reading. The last thing I read was a short story by Stephen King, actually, called Survivor Type. It's about a surgeon who's also a criminal from New York who's flying back from Thailand with 2 or 3 kilos of heroin. And he gets stranded on a desert island, but he's someone who knows how to keep himself alive, and he really wants to live. I saw Black and Blue. Season 1 Klaus fashion, because season 2 Klaus fashion, it was like, practically speaking, it was more complex. It was harder to just exist under those clothes.
My name is Justin Min, and I play Ben Hargreaves.
Hello, I am Captain Robert Sheehan, you fellow flesh bag, and I play Dr. Klaus. Well, if they're my BFFs, do you know what I mean? They're probably going to be as rude and demeaning as they could possibly be, which is what I would expect for them. Probably go with charming. Let's say charming for Rob.
I would say loyal for Justin. Probably Black Panther?
I'm gonna say Storm.
What?
I'd be either sleeping or cooking. I love a bit of cooking. Let's go with cooking. Sleeping makes me sound like a lazy bastard.
Would say sleeping, so I guess I am the lazy.
Or the lazy pup. I'd go with Hey Ya by Outkast in that list.
What are the second lyrics to Whenever, Wherever, Whenever?
We're meant to be together. I'll be there and you'll be here.
Oh yeah, that's definitely me.
I think the handler, because there's less likelihood you'll have to splat someone's brains all over the wall. I don't know if I'd be into that.
I'd probably choose Hazel because he gets to eat donuts and he has that nice love story with Agnes.
Pick a treat from Gritty's Donuts. Strawberry donut, chocolate donut, white chocolate donut, glazed donut. I don't trust glaze. Cookie crumble donut, jelly-filled donut. I think I'm going to go for a jelly-filled donut.
I'm going to go with the one that you just hated on, the classic glazed. Why don't you trust glazed?
You know, it's because it's invisible, mate, you know.
You would definitely choose that one, I know.
Yeah, no question. But who wants to see the birth of William Shakespeare?
I was going to choose that one!
Are you going to be there to catch him when he comes out?
Exactly, and to hold him in my arms.
It's like holding any baby.
But I would still be able to say I held William Shakespeare when he was birthed.
I got number 2, Diego Hargreaves.
I got you! You tend to get bored easily and talk to yourself when nobody's watching. Yet somehow you get things done.
You can be a little, very hot-headed at times. But it's only because you're passionate, you know, and you care deeply about the people and the things you love. And you like to stab people in the guts. Crikey, BuzzFeed, that's a bit much.
My favorite memory of Robert Sheehan on set was when he had this huge vomit rig attached to him. And finally, we're rolling, and he opens his mouth, and nothing comes. It was like 2 little words.
And it sort of came out from like there. We were throwing hands out in the country road.
It was really hot that day. We were just sweating buckets on top of each other on that burning hot pavement.
I heard a rumor.
Because a couple of weeks ago, he prematurely released our poster online. I don't know if you know this, Robbie. It was hilarious.
Season 1 was pretty good. I had a great time that year. My God, it was just brilliant.
I would actually go back last year and say a virus is coming. Buy toilet paper.
Alan Watts and Muhammad Ali. That'd be a nice little dinner party.
Anyone at this point, because I've just been alone. So. We played Scrabble. Robert hustled me. He made it seem like he had never played before. And just like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing. And then suddenly it's like quadruple word score with the letter Q. 500 points.
Well, there's an exploding fake cow. Do you remember that, Justin? Did that make it into the final show? In the 1960s, where the show was set, the second series, the siblings are all scattered apart. Unlike the first season, they're left to their own devices.
Who's there? Diego!
They're all in a very different world.
This can't be right. What the hell did we do now?
They're in a situation where they don't know where the other ones are. They might be dead.
They're all big.
In the trailer, we're in a field in a giant circle. And they had about 200 extras. And they were all in that sort of aquamarine blue. And in the script, it said, my children, let us all pray. And I was like, nah, you know, it's like, let's come up with some good cult stuff. I go, let us all commune with the infinite. And did the kind of hello, goodbye hands. And there was a camera on a crane above. So I was like, let's really tart it up to that camera. So I got everybody to look up and go,
That was the first day that Robert Sheehan started his cult.
Were you there, Justin, for the big World War III sequence?
Yeah, I think we all shot it separately. I did an entire green screen.
There's a parking lot which is not too far from the studio, which we kind of tend to use for, like in the first series, it was when 5 was in the apocalypse. You know, so they use that and then they plate that and they make it massive and everything. So we did that with the World War III sequence with the Russian soldiers and the tanks. They created a huge sort of bowl of blue screen all the way around. And so because there was fire and there was dust and there was guns going off and all that stuff, it became like just a giant bowl of dust. If you didn't have pneumonia going in, you know what I'm saying?
I think for...
Hello, this is Robert Sheehan from Umbrella Academy, flaked on his couch. And we're playing Know Your Role! Smoking! The Mask. This was a big one for my childhood. I was very wowed by Jim Carrey back in the sort of hysterical, hilarious sort of lunatic movie days. This, Ace Ventura.
Head detective!
Liar Liar was a big one I loved.
It was me!
His physical comedy is unmatched. It's just incredible.
Off the charts. He might be a space alien like Reginald Hargreaves. Sparta, you...
Oh, wait. This is Sparta. You're right. Why did I say this is 300? This is Sparta. Yeah.
Movie theater usher. Which movie? This is 300!
All right. I meant Sparta.
And I got goosebumps just I remember hearing that.
That's Akira, right? This is such a beloved anime.
That bike was ridiculous. That thing, it was like a miracle that it could even drive.
I'm also really liking this guy's goggles. Doesn't look like he can really see anything.
Hey, fashion before function, man.
Absolutely.
Even operating heavy machinery. Know your role! See us again next week when you could win a set of designer knives. Hanging out with the rest of the cast. Well, Tiffany, you know, how could I not associate the delicious Tiffany with the rest of the cast? And seeing all of their ace in the hole moves to Tiffany, I think we're alone now. Klaus is sort of rarefied and grew up, you know, whether they like it or not, in this very sort of affluent, stately home. And there's one song in particular called The Stately Homes of England by Noel Coward, so I'm going to go with that. I'm sure you have that on MTV all the time. Rihanna, Taylor Swift, The Stately Homes of England. I've been getting into the lounge lizards a bit recently. They're pretty cool.
I like cigarettes after sex.
Music, Justin. We're talking music, baby. Now the old brain's actually starting to rumble into action.
Right, okay, here's what it is. It's like I'm like a pundit on the show, like Gary Neville.
Dysfunctional family, superhero overtones, talking chimps, robot ladies, fabulous pink feather boas.
The premise of Umbrella Academy is basically about a group of sibling superheroes who are very dysfunctional and they struggle to save the world because they can't even get themselves together as a family to do it.
Oh, he just goes bowling, man. Funny movie, man. It's a great movie.
It's about a young guy who knows a doctor who invents a time machine, and the young guy accidentally travels through time and has to find his way back. But before he does that, he has to get his parents back together, who he accidentally splits up at the beginning of the film.
Oh, it's always just the moment. Don't let stuff from the past or future muddle it too heavily.
The concept of time is a series of events that happen over millions and billions of years, and over those millions and billions of years, lots of things change and happen and influence the future.
The side refers to the last defender on the other team. So if you're offside, you're behind him when the ball is kicked.
Okay, the offside rule. If you've got a line of defenders, here's a line of defenders. If an attacker is going past that line of defenders, if he's gone past it before the ball is played to him, then he is offside.
Because he's able to transform more fully into the character that he's playing. He treats his characters like real people, real three-dimensional people. Daniel Day-Lewis, you know, it's the cliche, but it's because it's true. You know?
Oh God, I don't actually have a favourite. I've got so many multiple favourite actors. But the reason all these actors are my favourite is because I find they all have a fundamental thing, which is they are so committed to the type of acting it is that they do.
For the storytelling first, and how expensive it looks. It's really nice. The second season, really every frame of it is delicious.
People should watch The Umbrella Academy because it is taking the whole concept of superheroes to a whole new level. It's talking about what superheroes are behind the capes and all that sort of nonsense. It's about who they are as people and what problems you can be caused on a person from being a superhero.
It was like having more, like 3 or 4, or the volume of 3 or 4 oysters all down.
Yeah, you got to do it like an oyster, and if you chew, you're screwed.
Ooh, yeah. You obviously have form in this area. You got to get it down and just hope to God there's no salmonella following it.
Here's a good one, Rob. Would you like Klaus and Luther to be closer? Is what they've said. And
Are they asking? Would Klaus want Luther and Klaus to become all romantic with kissing and lipstick? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. The phrase "shitting on one's doorstep."
Also, it would kind of end up being a weird threesome thing because Ben's always going to be there.
Prince Jupy asks Tom, "Is the band Bowling for Soup bowling to receive soup or bowling on behalf of soup?"
It's a great question.
Bowling for soup.
Well, I don't think that soup needs to be represented.
Yeah, yeah. Soup doesn't have an agenda, I don't think.
It doesn't.
Doesn't have.
So I would like to think you're bowling because the prize is soup. Maybe you're bowling to win some soup.
Which leads me to think, that they're definitely not very good at bowling. If they're in a competition.
Well, also, what bowling alley is giving soup as the prize?
Yeah, you get to
maybe not soup.
Out of the shoes you wore at the end. Here, I have a question for you now.
Go on.
From our fan list of questions. God bless them. They're a creative bunch, aren't they?
They are creative.
Jolly Rancher asks you, Tom, what colour underwear are you wearing right now? If any. Also, I love you. That was
the honest answer is I'm not wearing any.
Oh! That was the answer that Jolly Rancher was looking for.
What about you, Roberto? You're not a fan of the underwear either, are you?
That's true, but recently I've discovered bamboo underpants.
Ah, now, yeah. Go on, tell us about bamboo underwear.
They're hardy. They want to be around my gap. They're quite robust. They're very light, and cotton can be a bit oppressive after a while, I think.
You're in a bar together, and the only things left are 1 water and 1 stale milk. Who gets what?
We could split the milk, split the water, neck the disgusting sour milk, and then have the water as some sort of chaser. Or would that make it
I love that idea. That was a good one from Lizzie is weird. You are a bit weird, actually, Lizzie.
Alize H says, if you had to be eaten, this is great. This is a great one for Tom. How would you want to be cooked? Ooh. Or you could have it raw. I'm adding that in. I'm adding in a little.
Blue.
Raw.
I would probably go. I think human meat is supposed to be quite tough, so I would say like a good slow cooker stew. a good Tom Hopper stew.
Oh, well, that's lovely and considerate of you, because you're saying you want whoever has murdered you to
Oh, well, if
have a nice dinner.
yeah, I think if I'm going to be eaten, I'd like to be remembered as being a tasty meal. It's
Well,
like cows, you know. My father-in-law has cows, and we treat them with the highest of respect. These cows, we had one that we looked after him. It was called Charlie. I believe we ended up eating him at our wedding. But he was a delicious cow, and it was like, you know what? All that time we put into him, it really counted.
Yeah, don't they play classical music and massage certain Japanese cows like Kobe?
Yeah. Is it Kobe beef or Wagyu? Is it Kobe or Wagyu? One of them. They
literally give them massages and just like, you know.
Yeah, they really treat them well, and I think there's something to be said for that. You might as well give it the best possible life.
I'd love to see an animated movie from the perspective of one of these cows who's a real sensualist. He's just like, oh! Yes!
And then the gun comes around. Oh!
Oh my God, what's this?
What are you going to do with that?
Whoa! Where's that going? The Klaus of cows, exactly.
Miss Mickey for Robert. Here we go. If a shark and a bear had a fight, who would win? Oh, there's many.
Depends where it is, mate. Depends
where it takes place. Yeah.
Right. So we're saying, let's say, a 400-pound bear versus a 400-pound shark.
Shark.
In water that the bear can kind of he can stand up in it.
Stand up in, yeah.
Swim around. I'm saying.
I'd bet. Would you? I'd bet the bear.
Really? Yeah.
Mm.
You know, in ancient Roman times, they used to have these chats and then figure it out for real in the Colosseum.
All right, lads, go.
Yeah, like I believe it was Nero who was upped by Caligula. So I believe it was Nero that brought in 400 lions into the Colosseum to fight gladiators. 400 African lions, male African lions. And then Nero got 400 bears in.
Well, it's kind of, I imagine some would end up going after each other. Like
Yeah.
the bears would go after bears.
Imagine that in that small space. 400.
We may have to Google that and find out what happened.
Yeah, definitely.